Blood splattered across the white tablecloth. Once, twice, 3 times. Brandon Caldwell's hand gripped the back of Jasmine Carter's head, slamming her face into the table with each word. "You ruined my shirt." Her nose cracked against wood. Tears mixed with blood. 23 people watched. Not one moved. Brandon's girlfriend held up her phone, recording, laughing. This is so going viral. The entire diner froze in terror. Except for one man in the corner booth. Marcus Reynolds set down his coffee cup with deliberate calm. Beside him, a Belgian Malinois rose to its feet, lips curling back from white teeth. Something in that quiet, deadly movement made Brandon's smile disappear. He'd just picked a fight with the wrong man. Before we continue, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Follow this story until the very end, because what happens next will restore your faith in justice. Comment below with what city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story travels. Now, let's see what happens when evil finally meets its match. Coffee, black, 3rd cup. Marcus pushed the empty mug forward without looking up. His eyes tracked the door. Always the door. Jasmine grabbed the pot. "You've been here every morning for 2 weeks. Same booth, same order." Creatures of habit. "Military?" Marcus's eyes flicked to hers, sharp, assessing. "What gave it away?" "The way you sit, the way you watch." She poured. "My brother was Army. He does the same thing." "Does?" "Did." Her voice dropped. IED. Fallujah, 2019. Marcus nodded once. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. He died doing what he believed in." She started to turn away. "Wait." Marcus pulled a 20 from his wallet. "For the coffee. Keep the change." "It's $4. "I know." Jasmine stared at the bill, then at him. "Why?" "Because you work 2 jobs and you're raising a daughter alone, and you deserve better than this place pays you." Her face froze. "How do you—" "Scrub marks under your uniform. Nursing home, night shift. Photos on your phone case, little girl, maybe 4 years old. No wedding ring, but you've got the tan line. Recent divorce." Marcus took a sip. "Am I wrong?" "No." Jasmine's hand trembled slightly. "You some kind of cop?" "Something like that." The door chimed. Brandon Caldwell walked in like he owned the place, because his family did. 24 years old, 6'1", wearing a shirt that cost more than Jasmine made in a week. Jasmine's face went pale. "You know him?" Marcus asked quietly. "Everyone knows Brandon Caldwell." She pocketed the 20 with shaking hands. "His family owns half of Charleston." "The other half?" "They're working on it." Brandon snapped his fingers at the counter. "Coffee, now! And make it hot this time, not that lukewarm garbage." Rita, the owner, 63 years old and tired, grabbed the pot. "Coming right up, Mr. Caldwell." "Mr. Caldwell is my father. I'm Brandon. How many times do I have to tell you people?" His girlfriend Brittany slid into the booth, already scrolling her phone. 2 frat boy friends followed, Tyler and Chad, interchangeable in their polo shirts and entitlement. "Yo, Caldwell!" Tyler slapped the table. "You see that video last night? The one with later." Brandon's eyes locked on Jasmine. "Well, well. Look who's still working here." Jasmine grabbed her order pad. "Good morning. What can I get you?" "I can think of a few things." Brandon's smile made Marcus's jaw tighten. "But let's start with that smile. Come on, Jasmine. Show me those pretty teeth." "What would you like to order, sir?" "Sir? I like that. Say it again." "Brandon, stop being gross." Brittany didn't look up. "Order your stupid eggs." I'm not being gross, I'm being friendly. Brandon leaned forward. Aren't we friends, Jasmine? After everything we've been through? Jasmine's pen stopped moving. The eggs Benedict. What else? What else? How about you tell me why you've been avoiding me? Brandon's voice carried across the diner. I come in here every Tuesday. You always switch shifts. Why is that? Don't lie to me. Brandon's smile vanished. I hate liars. Marcus's hand moved to the edge of the table. Beneath it, Havoc went rigid. Easy, Marcus whispered. The dog's eyes never left Brandon. I'll get your order. Jasmine turned to leave. Brandon grabbed her wrist. Did I say you could go? The diner went quiet. Let go, please. Ask nicer. Please let go, Brandon. Better. He released her. See, that wasn't so hard. Now run along and get my food. And Jasmine, don't mess it up this time. Jasmine walked to the kitchen. Her hands shook so badly she dropped the order pad twice. Rita caught her arm. You okay, baby? Fine. You're not fine. What's he got on you? Nothing. Everything. Jasmine closed her eyes. He got me fired from the hospital last year. Before that, the country club. Now I'm here and he won't stop. Why don't you file a complaint? Jasmine laughed. It came out broken. His father plays golf with the sheriff. His uncle is a judge. His cousin runs the DA's office. Who would I complain to? Rita had no answer. 20 minutes crawled by. Marcus drank his coffee and watched. Counted exits, counted witnesses, counted how many would actually testify if it came to that. 0, his gut told him. Maybe 1 if he was lucky. Jasmine returned with Brandon's eggs Benedict. She set the plate down like it was made of glass. Careful, precise, no mistakes. Finally, Brandon cut into his eggs. Took long enough. Tyler and Chad arrived at the table, loud and reeking of cologne. Caldwell, my man! Tyler did some complicated handshake. You ready for the yacht club thing tonight? Obviously. Brandon gestured wildly as he talked. His elbow knocked his water glass. Time slowed. The glass tipped. Water arced through the air. Jasmine stepped back, but Brandon's hand shot out, deliberate, calculated, and shoved the glass directly at her. Water exploded across the front of his $3,000 shirt. The table went silent. Brandon stood. Slowly. The kind of slow that came before hurricanes. You just spilled water on me. I didn't. You knocked. Jasmine's voice cracked. I'm so sorry. Let me get towels. Sorry? Brandon's voice rose. Every head in the diner turned. You're always sorry, aren't you, Jasmine? Sorry for existing. Sorry for breathing. Sorry for being in my presence. It was an accident. An accident? Brandon took a step closer. Do you know how much this shirt costs? More than you make in a month. Probably more than your welfare checks. Jasmine's face burned with shame. Around them, forks stopped moving. Conversations died. 23 people watched. Nobody moved. I'll pay for dry cleaning. You'll pay? Brandon laughed. His friends joined in. With what? The tips these people leave out of pity? Please, get on your knees. The words dropped like stones. What? You heard me. Get on your knees and apologize properly. Brittany looked uncomfortable. Brandon, come on. She said she's sorry. I don't care what she said. I want respect. Brandon grabbed Jasmine's arm. Now get down. I'm not. Brandon's other hand gripped the back of her head and slammed her face into the table. The crack echoed through the diner like a gunshot. Jasmine's nose connected with wood. Something broke. Blood flooded her mouth, metallic and warm. Apologize. Brandon yanked her head up by her hair. "I'm sorry," she gasped. He slammed her down again, harder. Her cheekbone struck the table's edge. Stars exploded across her vision. "Mean it." "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Tears mixed with blood, dripping onto the white tablecloth. Brandon pulled her head back for a third strike. "That's enough." The voice came from the corner. Quiet, controlled, but it cut through everything else like a knife through paper. Brandon froze, Jasmine's hair still gripped in his fist. Marcus Reynolds stood beside his booth. Not tall, 6'2", but he filled the space differently, like gravity worked harder around him. Beside him, Havoc rose, 80 pounds of Belgian Malinois, trained to kill. A low growl built in the dog's chest. "Who the hell are you?" Brandon still held Jasmine. "Someone who's asking nicely." Marcus took one step forward, just one. "Let her go." "Do you know who I am?" "Don't care." Tyler stood up. "Dude, you need to back off." Havoc's head swiveled toward him. The growl intensified. Tyler sat back down. "My father owns this city," Brandon's voice climbed. "The sheriff, the judges, the mayor. So why don't you sit down and mind your own—" "Let her go." Marcus's voice didn't change, didn't rise, didn't waver. "Last time I'll say it politely." "Or what?" "Or I'll make you." Brandon laughed, but it sounded hollow. "You'll make me? You threatening me? In front of all these witnesses?" Not threatening. Promising. Something in Marcus's eyes made Brandon's grip loosen, just slightly. Jasmine stumbled backward, free, blood dripping from her nose onto her uniform. "You just made a huge mistake." Brandon tried to recover. "One phone call and I'll have you arrested. I'll sue you. I'll destroy." Marcus moved. 1 second he was 10 feet away. The next he had Brandon's arm twisted behind his back, had the younger man's face pressed against the same table he'd just used on Jasmine. The whole sequence took maybe 2 seconds. "Get off me!" Brandon's voice went shrill. "Get off me right now!" "Here's what's going to happen." Marcus applied pressure. Not enough to break, just enough to make the point. "You're going to apologize to her. You're going to pay her $10,000 for medical expenses and emotional damages. Then you're going to leave this diner and never come back." "You're insane! Tyler! Chad! Do something!" Tyler and Chad half stood. Havoc was already there, teeth bared. 80 pounds of controlled violence blocking their path. They sat back down. "I'm not paying her anything," Brandon struggled. "Let me go, or—" "Or what?" Marcus's voice stayed level. "You'll call the sheriff? Fine. Call him. Let's see what he says about what I just witnessed." Brandon's eyes swept the diner. "Everyone saw him attack me. You all saw it. Tell them!" 23 faces looked away. The fisherman at the counter found his eggs fascinating. The construction workers studied their coffee. Rita wiped down a spotless counter. "See?" Brandon gasped. "Nobody's going to back you, because they know better. My family—" The door burst open. Sheriff Ray Decker strode in, hand on his weapon, followed by 2 deputies. 52 years old, thick around the middle, with the dead eyes of someone who'd stopped caring about right and wrong decades ago. "Charleston PD! Nobody move!" Brittany stood near the door, phone in hand, looking relieved. "Sheriff Decker, thank God!" Brandon's voice changed instantly. Victim mode activated. "This man attacked me, for no reason. He just grabbed me and—" "Let him go." Decker's hand stayed on his gun. "Now." Marcus didn't move. "Sheriff, I witnessed this man assault that waitress multiple times. I intervened to stop an ongoing attack." I don't care what you think you saw. Let him go. She's bleeding. Her nose is broken. 23 witnesses. Let him go. Decker drew his weapon. Or I put you down right here. Marcus held his gaze for 5 seconds. Then he released Brandon and stepped back, hands visible, non-threatening. Brandon scrambled up, rubbing his arm. He attacked me. I want him arrested. We'll get your statement, Mr. Caldwell. Decker kept his gun on Marcus. You. Name. Marcus Reynolds. Well, Mr. Reynolds, you want to tell me what happened here? He slammed her face into that table 3 times. I stopped him. Funny. Decker's voice went flat. That's not what I heard. What I heard was a clumsy waitress had an accident, tripped and fell. Isn't that right, folks? He looked around the diner. Silence. Anyone see different? The fisherman shook his head. The construction workers looked away. Even Rita turned her back. That's what I thought. Decker holstered his weapon. Now I'm going to give you one chance, Mr. Reynolds. Take your dog and leave. Right now. Or I arrest you for assault and battery. You're protecting him. I'm protecting this community from troublemakers who don't know their place. His place? Marcus looked at Jasmine, blood still dripping from her nose. What about her place? Her place is to do her job and not cause scenes. Decker stepped closer. Now move, or I move you. Marcus looked at Jasmine one more time. Her eyes pleaded with him. For what, he wasn't sure. Help? Understanding? Hope? He gave her the smallest nod. Let's go, Havoc. The dog followed him toward the door, never taking his eyes off Decker. As Marcus passed Brandon, the younger man laughed. That's right. Run away, soldier boy. Go back to whatever hole you crawled out of. Marcus stopped, turned. You assaulted that woman in front of 23 witnesses. You did it on camera. He gestured at Brittany's phone. And you did it wearing clothes worth more than most people make in a month. His voice dropped to barely above a whisper. Men like you think money makes you untouchable. But I've spent 14 years hunting men who thought they were untouchable. He smiled, not friendly. I always found them. Something flickered in Brandon's eyes. Not fear, not yet, but recognition. Marcus walked out into the sunlight. The door closed behind him. Inside, Decker helped Brandon to a chair, called for ice, treated him like the victim. Jasmine stood alone with blood on her face, while Rita finally brought towels. Nobody looked at her. Nobody helped. This was Tuesday in Charleston. Marcus sat in his truck. His hands rested on the steering wheel, perfectly steady. 14 years of combat had taught him control. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. I saw what you did. Meet me tonight, St. Michael's Church, 9 p.m. Come alone. Someone who needs to talk. Marcus stared at the message. Havoc whined softly. I know, boy. His phone buzzed again. Different number. Detective Lisa Monroe, Charleston PD. I know who you are. I know why you're here. We need to talk. I can help. Marcus's jaw tightened. Either this was a trap or he'd just found allies. He pulled up another screen, a folder labeled Investigation. Financial records, police reports, medical bills, all pointing to one name. Caldwell Industries, the company that killed his wife. Alicia had needed cancer treatment. Their insurance wouldn't cover it. Someone at the hospital recommended a private lender. Fast approval, flexible terms. Caldwell Financial. They didn't know what they'd signed until it was too late. 31% interest. Fees on fees. When they couldn't pay, the calls started. Every day, every hour. They called her at work, showed up at the hospital, told her she was worthless, told her she'd ruined everything, told her to give up. The stress triggered her heart condition. She died 3 months later. The death certificate said heart failure. Marcus knew better. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. "Mr. Reynolds." The voice was smooth, cultured, old money. "My name is Jackson Caldwell. I believe you met my son this morning." Marcus said nothing. "I wanted to reach out, man to man, father to father." A pause. "You're a veteran, 14 years of service, honorable discharge. You've given a great deal to this country." "How do you know about my service?" "I make it my business to know about people operating in my city." Caldwell's voice hardened slightly. "Did you think you could investigate my family without me noticing? I've known who you were since the day you arrived, Mr. Reynolds. I know about your wife, Alicia. I know about the medical debt. I know why you're really here." Marcus's blood went cold. "Now listen carefully. You have 24 hours to leave Charleston. Pack your things, take your dog, disappear. And in exchange, I'll personally ensure every debt associated with your wife's treatment is forgiven. Clean slate, fresh start." "You killed her." "Your wife had a medical condition. People die. That's life." Caldwell's voice went ice cold. "But if you stay, if you continue this crusade, I will destroy you. Not quickly, not obviously. I'll do it the way I do everything. Legally, thoroughly, permanently. You'll never work again, never rent an apartment, never have peace. I'll make sure of that." "Threats don't scare me." "They should, because I always follow through. Ask anyone in Charleston." A pause. 24 hours, Mr. Reynolds. The clock is ticking." The line went dead. Marcus set down the phone. Havoc watched him with amber eyes. "They think they've won," Marcus said quietly. "They think money and power make them untouchable." Havoc's tail thumped once. "They're about to learn different." Marcus pulled out of the parking lot. In the rearview mirror, the diner disappeared, but the image of Jasmine's blood on white tablecloth stayed burned in his mind. Just like the image of Alicia in her hospital bed, growing weaker every day while Caldwell's collectors circled like vultures. He'd failed to save his wife. He wouldn't fail again. His phone buzzed one more time. The message from Detective Monroe. "Don't trust anyone. The Caldwells own more than you think. Even some cops you'd never suspect. Meet me tomorrow. Abandoned warehouse on River Street. Come armed." Then a second message appeared beneath it. "P.S. I know about the property, the one Alicia's family owned, the one Caldwell wants. That's why they targeted her. That's why she's dead." Marcus's hands tightened on the wheel until his knuckles went white. Property? What property? Alicia had never mentioned owning land. But Caldwell had. Which meant there was more to this than predatory loans and harassment. Which meant his wife's death was even more calculated than he'd thought. Marcus pulled over, opened his investigation files, started searching property records for Alicia's maiden name. 3 minutes later, he found it. 5 acres of waterfront property, Charleston Historic District. Purchased by Alicia's great-grandfather in 1947. Passed down through 4 generations. Worth approximately $8 million. And sitting right in the middle of Caldwell Development's planned $2 billion resort project. Everything clicked into place. The predatory loan wasn't about money. It was about leverage. They'd tried to force Alicia to sell. When she refused, they buried her in debt. When that didn't work, they harassed her until her heart gave out. And when she died, they'd assumed Marcus would sell just to be rid of the memories. They'd miscalculated. Marcus started the truck again. Havoc settled into the passenger seat. "We're not leaving, boy. We're just getting started." The sun climbed higher over Charleston. Beautiful city. Historic, charming, built on the broken backs of people who had no other choice. The Caldwell family had ruled here for 3 generations. That reign was about to end. Because Marcus Reynolds hadn't come here just to investigate. He'd come here to burn their empire to the ground. And he'd just found the match. St. Michael's Church stood dark at 9 p.m. Marcus parked 2 blocks away, approached on foot. Havoc moved silent beside him, scanning shadows, ears forward. The side door opened before Marcus could knock. A black woman stepped out. 50s, gray-streaked hair, eyes that had seen too much pain. She wore a simple dress and carried a worn Bible. "Mr. Reynolds?" Not a question. "I'm Ruth Carter, Jasmine's mother." Marcus's hand stayed near his concealed weapon. "How did you know my name?" "Same way I knew you'd come." Ruth gestured inside. "We don't have much time. They're watching my house. Probably watching Jasmine, too." Inside, the church basement smelled of old hymnals and coffee. A folding table held stacks of documents, photographs, medical records, police reports. Ruth spread them out like evidence at a crime scene. 8 women, all black, all service workers, all assaulted by Brandon Caldwell over the last 3 years. Marcus picked up a photo. A young woman, maybe 22, her face swollen beyond recognition. What happened to her? "Broken jaw, 3 broken ribs, concussion." Ruth's voice went flat. "She was a hotel maid. Brandon claimed she stole from his room. Security footage showed otherwise, but it disappeared. The case was dismissed." "Let me guess. Sheriff Decker investigated?" "Sheriff Decker made it go away." Ruth pulled out another file. "This one was a bartender. Brandon didn't like how she poured his drink. He grabbed her by the throat, slammed her against the bar. 15 witnesses. All of them suddenly couldn't remember what happened." Marcus flipped through the files. The pattern was clear. Young, black, working class, vulnerable. "Why are you showing me this?" Ruth met his eyes. "Because I watched what you did this morning. I watched you stand up when 23 other people sat down. I watched you risk arrest, risk violence, risk everything for my daughter. I didn't do enough. You did more than anyone has in 3 years." Ruth's hands trembled as she organized the papers. "These women, they tried to fight back. They filed reports. They got lawyers. They went to the media. And every single time, the Caldwell machine crushed them." "The media covered it up?" "The Caldwells own the Charleston Tribune. They advertise heavily on every local TV station. They donate to every politician's campaign." Ruth laughed bitterly. "You can't fight money with truth when money writes the truth." Marcus's phone buzzed. Text from Jasmine. "Mom's been gone for 2 hours. Where is she? I'm scared." He showed Ruth the message. "Don't answer yet." Ruth pulled out her own phone, typed quickly. "There. I told her I'm at Bible study. She'll believe that." "You're lying to your daughter." "I'm protecting my daughter." Ruth's voice hardened. "If she knew I was meeting you, she'd panic. She'd try to stop me. She'd think I'm putting us in more danger." "Aren't you?" "We're already in danger, Mr. Reynolds. We've been in danger since the day Brandon decided Jasmine was his property." Marcus went still. "Explain." Ruth opened another file. Text messages, photos, a timeline spanning 6 months. "It started at a charity gala last June. Jasmine was catering. Brandon cornered her in the kitchen, tried to kiss her. She pushed him away. He laughed it off, but something changed in his eyes." The messages were graphic, violent, explicit. He sent these to her phone? Marcus's jaw tightened. 53 messages over 6 months, most of them threatening, some of them describing exactly what he wants to do to her. Ruth's voice cracked. We went to the police. Decker said boys will be boys, said Brandon was just flirting, said Jasmine should be flattered. Flattered. That's what he said, to my face, while my daughter sat there crying. Marcus's fists clenched. What else? Brandon got her fired from 2 jobs, had his father blacklist her from nursing programs. Hold her the loan on my beauty salon, $200,000 at 31% interest. Ruth met his eyes. And 3 weeks ago, he started following my granddaughter. Everything stopped. Your granddaughter? How old? 4. Her name is Maya. Ruth pulled up a photo, a little girl with braids and a bright smile. Brandon sent Jasmine a picture. Maya at her preschool, with a stranger standing behind her in the frame. Marcus's blood went cold. Did you report it? To who? Decker? The DA whose campaign Caldwell funded? Ruth shook her head. I went to a lawyer instead. He took one look at the Caldwell name and refused the case. Said he had a family to protect. So you've been gathering evidence on your own? For 2 years. Every victim I could find, every document I could copy, every witness willing to talk off the record. Ruth gestured at the table. But it's not enough. Evidence doesn't matter when the entire system is corrupt. The basement door opened. Marcus spun, hand moving to his weapon. Jasmine stood in the doorway. Her face still showed bruises from this morning. Her eyes were red from crying. Mom, what are you doing? Ruth stood. Baby, you shouldn't be here. You lied to me. Bible study? Jasmine's voice shook. Mrs. Patterson called asking why you missed it. I knew something was wrong. She looked at Marcus. What is this? What are you planning? Your mother is showing me evidence against Brandon Caldwell. Evidence? Jasmine laughed. It came out desperate. Evidence doesn't work. I have evidence. We all have evidence. It doesn't matter. It will matter if we get it to the right people. There are no right people, Jasmine's voice rose. Don't you understand? The Caldwells own everyone. The police, the courts, the politicians. There is no justice here. There's just survival. Ruth moved toward her daughter. Jasmine, no, Mom, no. Jasmine backed away. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this man, this soldier, he can help us. He can fix everything. But he can't. Nobody can. Marcus stayed seated, kept his voice calm. You're right. Jasmine stopped. What? You're right that I can't fix everything. I can't undo what Brandon did to you this morning. I can't erase 6 months of stalking and threats. I can't bring back your sense of safety. He paused. But I can make sure he never hurts you again. How? By beating him up? You tried that. The sheriff arrested you. No. By destroying his entire family's empire. Silence filled the basement. Jasmine stared at him. You're insane. Probably. Marcus pulled out his own folder. But I'm also the only person in Charleston who has nothing left to lose. He spread his documents across the table. Financial records, shell company structures, property deeds, and at the center, a photo of Alicia in her nurse's uniform. That's my wife. Her name was Alicia Reynolds. She died 8 months ago from a heart condition triggered by stress. The stress of being harassed by Caldwell Financial for debt she couldn't pay. Jasmine's hand went to her mouth. They gave her a predatory loan, 31% interest. When she couldn't pay, they called every day, sometimes every hour. They showed up at her hospital. They told her she was worthless, that she'd ruined our lives, that she should give up. Marcus's voice stayed level. She had a heart attack 3 months later. The doctor said it was her pre-existing condition, but I know what really killed her. They killed her. The Caldwells killed my wife. Ruth sat down slowly. Oh my God. So when you ask if I can help you, the answer is yes. Not because I'm a good person, not because I'm a hero, but because I want the same thing you want. Marcus met Jasmine's eyes. I want them to pay. Jasmine crossed to the table, picked up Alicia's photo. She was beautiful. She was everything. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Help me. Jasmine set down the photo. How? Before Marcus could answer, his phone rang. The number Detective Monroe had texted from. He answered on speaker. Reynolds? We have a problem. Monroe's voice was tight. Brandon filed assault charges against you. There's a warrant out. Decker's got every deputy in the county looking for you. Let them look. You don't understand. This isn't about arresting you. Decker's orders are to shoot on sight if you resist. Ruth gasped. He's going to kill you, Monroe continued. Make it look justified. Say you attacked officers. He's done it before. Then I'll make sure I don't get caught. There's more. Someone burned down a building on Market Street an hour ago. The fire department is still there. Ruth's face went white. Which building? A beauty salon. Ruth's hair and nails. I'm sorry. Ruth's legs gave out. Jasmine caught her, both of them sinking to the floor. They burned my salon. Ruth's voice came out broken. Everything. My equipment. My savings. 20 years of work. Marcus crouched beside her. Was anyone inside? No. We closed at 6. Ruth's hands shook. But all my files. My evidence. I had copies there. What kind of copies? Financial records, loan documents, photos of other victims. Ruth looked up at him. They knew. The Caldwells knew I was collecting evidence. How? Monroe's voice came through the phone. Because I told them. Marcus went very still. What? Not intentionally. They have someone inside my department. Everything I know, they know. Every move I make, they track. Monroe paused. I'm sorry. I thought I was being careful. I thought I could trust my partner. Who's your partner? Deputy Chief Williams, 30 years on the force. I've known him since I was a rookie. Monroe's voice cracked. He's on Caldwell's payroll. Has been for a decade. Jasmine helped her mother into a chair. Ruth sat there, staring at nothing. Everything she'd built turning to ash. Monroe, Marcus said quietly. How long have you known about Williams? I found out 2 hours ago. Saw him leaving Caldwell's office downtown. Confronted him in the parking lot. He admitted everything. Where is he now? I don't know. He drove off. Hasn't answered his phone since. Monroe took a breath. But before he left, he said something. He said I should quit while I still have a daughter to go home to. Marcus's grip tightened on the phone. He threatened your daughter? Not directly, but the message was clear. A pause. Mr. Reynolds, these people don't just ruin careers. They destroy families. They burn down businesses. They make people disappear. I'm telling you this as someone who's tried to fight them for 2 years. You can't win. Everyone can be beaten, not when they own the system. Then I'll burn the system down. Monroe was quiet for a long moment. If you're serious, if you're really going to do this, you need to know what you're up against. The Caldwells don't just have local power. They have federal connections. Judges, prosecutors, even some FBI agents in the Charleston field office. How far up does it go? I don't know, but I know this. 3 different investigations into Caldwell Industries have been shut down over the last 5 years, all of them killed at the federal level before charges could be filed. Marcus processed this. What about FBI headquarters? Washington? Maybe. I have one contact there, Agent Diana Cross. She's been trying to build a RICO case for years, but she can't get cooperation from the local office. Can you get me in touch with her? I can try, but Reynolds? Even if you reach her, even if she helps, it'll take months, maybe years. And in the meantime, the Caldwells will come after everyone connected to you. Marcus looked at Ruth and Jasmine, both of them watching him, both of them terrified. Then we move fast. He hung up. Jasmine spoke first. You're really going to do this? Fight them? Yes. You'll die. They'll kill you. Maybe. But they already killed my wife. I don't have much left to lose. What about us? Ruth's voice was small. If we help you, if they find out, they'll destroy us too. They'll take my house. They'll take Maya. They'll do all that anyway. Marcus pulled up a chair. Ruth, you've been collecting evidence for 2 years. Do you think they're going to let that slide? They burned your salon tonight. Next time it might be your house, or your church, or worse. Ruth knew he was right. He could see it in her eyes. So what do we do? Jasmine asked. We hit them before they can hit us again. Tonight. Tonight? Ruth stood. That's impossible. We need time to plan, to prepare, to— Time is what we don't have. Decker's looking for me. Williams is compromised. The Caldwells know you're gathering evidence. Marcus stood. Every hour we wait, they get stronger, and we get weaker. What's your plan? Marcus pulled out the building schematics he'd stolen from the county records office. Caldwell Industries headquarters. 23 floors, state-of-the-art security. Brandon has a private office on the 21st floor. According to the whistleblower I've been talking to, he keeps trophies from his victims. Phones, jewelry, photos, evidence. Jasmine's hand went to her neck. He took my grandmother's necklace. The day he cornered me at the country club. I never saw it again. It's in that office, along with evidence from every other woman he's hurt. Marcus traced the building's layout. We get in, get the evidence, get out. Hand it to Agent Cross before the Caldwells can bury it. Ruth shook her head. The building has security guards, cameras, biometric locks. You'd need an army to get in there. Or one person who knows the system. The basement door opened again. An elderly black man walked in, 70 at least, with white hair and hands gnarled from a lifetime of manual labor. Sorry I'm late. He nodded at Ruth. Traffic was hell. Ruth gestured. Mr. Reynolds, this is Tyrone Washington. He used to work for Caldwell Industries, accounting department. Used to? Marcus asked. Until I asked too many questions about where the money was really going. Tyrone set down a briefcase. They fired me, threatened me, tried to destroy my reputation, but I kept copies of everything. He opened the briefcase. Inside were USB drives, printouts, ledgers. Shell companies, money laundering, tax fraud, political bribes. It's all here. Tyrone smiled grimly. And I know every inch of that building. Worked there for 32 years. Marcus studied him. Why are you helping? Because Jackson Caldwell destroyed my nephew's life. Predatory loan, same as your wife. My nephew lost his house, his family, everything. Last I heard, he was living in his car in Florida. Tyrone's eyes hardened. I've been waiting years for someone to actually fight back. Everyone else just gave up. I don't give up. I can see that. Marcus spread the building schematic on the table. Can you get us inside? Tyrone studied it. The security's changed since I worked there, but the basic structure is the same. There's a service entrance on the north side. Maintenance uses it for after-hours access. Locked? Keycard and code. But I know someone who still works maintenance. For the right price, he might look the other way. How much? 5,000. Marcus pulled out his wallet, started counting hundreds. Ruth's eyes went wide. Where did you get that kind of cash? Savings. Insurance payout from my wife's death. Marcus finished counting. Blood money. Might as well use it for justice. Tyrone pocketed the cash. I'll make the call, but we need to move tonight, before they change the codes. Agreed. What about cameras? Everywhere, but they're on a central system. Take out the security office, you take out the cameras. Where's the security office? 3rd floor, 2 guards on duty overnight. Marcus looked at Havoc. The dog met his eyes, ready for whatever came next. I can handle 2 guards. Jasmine stepped forward. I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. It's not your choice. Her voice was steel. Brandon has my necklace. My grandmother gave it to me before she died. It's the only thing I have left of her. I'm getting it back. You'll slow me down. I know that building. I catered events there for 2 years. I know the layout, the schedules, the blind spots. Jasmine crossed her arms. You need me. Marcus wanted to argue, but she was right. Fine, but you follow my orders exactly. No heroics, no improvising. We get in, get the evidence, get out. Agreed. Ruth grabbed Jasmine's hand. Baby, please, think about Maya. If something happens to you, if I don't do this, Maya grows up in a world where men like Brandon can do whatever they want. Jasmine squeezed her mother's hand. I'm doing this for her. Marcus's phone buzzed. Another text from an unknown number. Mr. Reynolds, this is your final warning. Leave Charleston within 6 hours or face the consequences. You have assaulted my son. You have threatened my family. You will pay for this. Signed, Jackson Caldwell. He showed the message to the group. Tyrone whistled. 6 hours? They're getting nervous. Good. Nervous people make mistakes. Marcus typed a reply. See you soon. He sent it. Ruth covered her mouth. You just declared war. No, they declared war when they killed my wife. Marcus stood. I'm just finishing it. His phone rang immediately. Caldwell's number. Marcus answered, put it on speaker. You arrogant fool. Caldwell's voice was ice. Do you have any idea what you've just done? I have a pretty good idea. I offered you a way out, money, freedom, a fresh start. You threw it in my face. Your blood money doesn't interest me. Then perhaps your life does. Or the lives of your new friends. Ruth Carter, Jasmine Carter, even little Maya. Caldwell let that sink in. Yes, I know you're with them. I know everything. Ruth's face went pale. Marcus kept his voice steady. Touch them and what? You'll kill me? You'll destroy my company? Caldwell laughed. Men have been trying to destroy me for 40 years. They're all either ruined or dead. What makes you think you're different? Because I don't care if I survive. You do. Silence on the line. That's the difference between us, Caldwell. You have something to lose. I don't. Which means I can take risks you never would. I can burn bridges you need to cross. I can destroy things you've spent decades building. Marcus paused. And I can do it all with a smile. You're bluffing. Try me. Another silence, longer this time. When Caldwell spoke again, His voice had changed, less confident, more calculating. What do you want? Justice. Justice is negotiable. Not to me. Everything is negotiable, Mr. Reynolds. Name your price. 10 million? 20? I can have it wired to your account within the hour. I don't want your money. Then what? Revenge? You want to see my son arrested? Fine. I'll throw him to the wolves. Brandon's a disappointment anyway. I'll serve him up on a platter. Jasmine gasped. Marcus's eyes narrowed. You'd sacrifice your own son? I'd sacrifice anyone to protect what I've built. Family, friends, partners, they're all expendable. Caldwell's voice went cold. But the empire? The legacy? That's forever. And I won't let some self-righteous veteran with a death wish destroy it. Then we have nothing more to discuss. Marcus hung up. The basement went silent. He'd really give up his own son? Ruth whispered. He would, Tyrone nodded. I've seen it before. 5 years ago, Brandon's older brother got caught embezzling company funds. Jackson made him disappear. Literally. No one's seen him since. What happens to him? Rumor is he's in a psychiatric facility in Montana. Permanently. Jackson had him declared incompetent, took control of his assets, erased him from the family. Jasmine shivered. What kind of father does that? The kind who values power more than people. Marcus checked his watch. We've got 5 hours before Caldwell's deadline. Tyrone, can your maintenance contact get us in tonight? I'll call him now. While Tyrone stepped away to make the call, Marcus pulled Jasmine aside. Are you sure about this? Really sure? Because once we go in there, there's no turning back. I'm sure. You could die. I'm already dying. Every day Brandon walks free. Every day he gets away with what he did. A piece of me dies. Jasmine met his eyes. At least this way I'm fighting back. Marcus saw Alicia in her. The same determination, the same refusal to stay down. Okay, but we do this my way. Military precision, no unnecessary risks. Deal. Tyrone returned. We're in. Maintenance entrance, midnight. Code will be disabled for exactly 10 minutes. Marcus looked at his watch. 2 hours. Then let's get ready. They spent the next 90 minutes planning. Tyrone drew detailed maps of the building's interior. Jasmine marked camera locations. Ruth called every victim she'd documented, warning them that tonight, everything changed. At 11:30, Marcus loaded his gear. Tactical vest, lockpicks, flashlight, his military-issued K-bar knife. Havoc wore his K9 vest, navy printed across the back. Ready, boy? Havoc's tail wagged once. They loaded into Tyrone's van. The old man drove. Ruth stayed behind to coordinate communications and watch Maya. The city scrolled past. Charleston at night. Beautiful and corrupt. Historic homes built on slavery. Modern wealth built on broken families. Marcus's phone buzzed one last time. Detective Monroe. Agent Cross is standing by. She's ready to move the moment you have evidence. But Reynolds? She says you get one shot at this. If you fail, the Caldwells will bury you so deep no one will ever find the body. Don't fail. Marcus typed back. I don't plan to. The Caldwell Industries building rose into the night sky, 23 floors of steel and glass, a monument to greed. Tyrone parked 3 blocks away, killed the engine. Service entrance is around back, code is 4792. You'll have 10 minutes from when you enter until security realizes something's wrong. 10 minutes isn't much time. It's all you're getting. Tyrone handed him a security badge. This'll get you past internal doors. It's keyed to maintenance clearance. Marcus clipped it to his vest. Jasmine checked her phone. Mom says Maya's asleep. She doesn't know we're doing this. Good, keep it that way. They exited the van, moved through shadows toward the building. Havoc led the way, nose to the ground, ears forward, alert for threats. They reached the service entrance at 11:58. Marcus punched in the code. The lock clicked open. They stepped inside, and somewhere above them, in his 21st floor office, Brandon Caldwell sat in the dark, holding a gun, waiting for the man who'd humiliated him to come. Because Jackson Caldwell had told his son everything, had warned him Marcus was coming, had given him permission to do whatever it took to stop him. "Kill him if you have to," Jackson had said. "Make it look like self-defense. I'll handle the rest." Brandon chambered around. His hands shook with anticipation. Finally, he'd get to prove himself to his father. Finally, he'd get revenge. He didn't know that Marcus Reynolds had survived 14 years of combat by being smarter, faster, and more ruthless than anyone he faced. He didn't know that Havoc had been trained to neutralize armed threats in seconds. He didn't know that upstairs, in his own office, sat evidence of 23 assaults. Evidence that would destroy not just him, but his entire family. All Brandon knew was that someone had disrespected him, and the Caldwell family didn't tolerate disrespect. The clock struck midnight. The war began. The service corridor smelled of industrial cleaner and stale air. Marcus moved fast, Havoc at his heel, Jasmine close behind. Their footsteps echoed off concrete walls. "Security office is 2 floors up," Jasmine whispered. "East wing." Marcus checked his watch. 12:02 a.m. 8 minutes until the system flagged the entry. They hit the stairwell. Metal steps clanged under their boots. Havoc took point, ears forward, scanning for threats. 3rd floor. The door opened onto a hallway lined with offices. Dark. Empty. But cameras blinked red in every corner. "There," Jasmine pointed. "End of the hall. Security room." Through the reinforced glass window, Marcus saw 2 guards, one watching monitors, one scrolling his phone. Both armed. "Stay here," Marcus told Jasmine.
"What are you going to—"
He was already moving. Havoc beside him. Silent. Predatory. Marcus knocked on the door. The guard at the monitors looked up, squinted through the glass, saw the maintenance badge on Marcus's vest. He buzzed them in. "Yeah? Elevator malfunction. 3rd floor. Need to check your panel." The guard turned back to his screens. "Panel's over there. Make it quick." Marcus crossed the room, counted steps. 3, 2, 1. He moved like lightning, arm around the first guard's throat. Chokehold. Military precision. The guard struggled for 5 seconds, then went limp. The second guard grabbed for his weapon. "Havoc, engage!" 80 pounds of Belgian Malinois launched across the room. Teeth found the guard's forearm. The gun clattered to the floor. The guard screamed. "Quiet," Marcus hissed. "One sound and the dog doesn't let go." The guard froze. Havoc's jaws tightened. Jasmine rushed in. "Oh my God!" "Zip ties, my vest pocket." She fumbled with shaking hands. Found them. Marcus secured both guards, gagged them, dragged them into the storage closet. "How long until they're missed?" Jasmine asked. "Shift change at 6 a.m. We've got hours." Marcus turned to the monitors. 23 screens showing every floor. There, 21st floor, Brandon's office. The screen showed a door. Closed. Dark. "He could be in there," Jasmine said. "He is." Marcus pointed at another screen. "Look, 22nd floor. His father's office. Lights on. Someone's moving around." A figure crossed the frame. Tall. Gray hair. Jackson Caldwell himself. "He's here? At midnight?" Jasmine's voice climbed. "Why?" "Because he knows we're coming." Marcus studied the screens. "He's waiting. Probably has backup ready." Then we abort. We leave. No. Marcus pulled up the building's security system, started typing. We adapt. His fingers flew across the keyboard. Years of combat training included basic hacking, enough to disable cameras, enough to loop footage. The screens flickered, went dark, came back showing empty hallways. What did you do? Bought us 30 minutes of invisibility. After that, someone will notice the loop. Marcus stood. Let's move. They hit the stairwell again, climbing. 14 floors. Jasmine's breathing got harder, faster. You okay? Fine, just haven't run stairs since high school. 10th floor, halfway there. Marcus's phone buzzed. Ruth. Maya woke up. She's asking for Jasmine. What do I tell her? Jasmine grabbed the phone. Tell her mommy's working late. Tell her I love her. Tell her you'll see her in the morning, Marcus finished. Well, the maintenance man and the waitress. His smile was cold. Funny place for an after-hours repair. Marcus's hand moved to his weapon. Don't. Williams aimed at Jasmine's head. She dies first, then the dog, then you. In that order. You're here alone, Marcus said. No backup, no witnesses. Why? Because Jackson Caldwell pays me very well to handle problems quietly. And you, Mr. Reynolds, are a problem. Monroe told you we were coming. Monroe's been feeding me information for 2 years. Dumb bitch thinks she's fighting corruption, doesn't realize her own partner is the corruption. Jasmine's fists clenched. You're going to kill us and call it justified. Self-defense, actually. I'll say I caught you breaking in. You attacked me. I had no choice. Williams shrugged. Decker will back me up. The DA will call it righteous. And the Caldwells will pay me $250,000 for my trouble. Marcus calculated distances. 15 feet. Too far to rush. Williams was a trained cop. He wouldn't miss. You don't have to do this, Marcus said quietly. You can walk away. Pretend you never saw us. And miss $250,000? I don't think so. Monroe mentioned you have a daughter. What's her name? Williams's face twitched. Don't. Ashley, right? 16 years old. Honor student. Wants to be a lawyer like a grandfather. Marcus took a small step forward. What happens when she finds out her father is a murderer? Shut up. She'll see the news, read the reports, see your name attached to covering up assaults, protecting predators, killing innocent people. Another step. She'll know what you really are. I said shut up! Williams's hand shook. Havoc inched forward, silent, waiting for the command. You can still choose different, Marcus continued. You can be the man your daughter thinks you are, or you can be what the Caldwells made you. Williams's gun wavered. You don't understand. They own me. I took their money. I buried evidence. I lied in court. If I turn on them now, they'll destroy you. I know. Marcus stopped moving. But at least you'll be able to look your daughter in the eye. At least you'll have tried to do the right thing. Silence filled the stairwell. Williams's gun lowered, just slightly. It's too late for me. It's never too late. You're wrong. Williams raised the gun again. I'm already dead inside. Have been for years. Might as well get paid for it. His finger moved to the trigger. Jasmine screamed. No! Everything happened at once. Williams fired. Marcus shoved Jasmine down. Havoc launched. The bullet missed Marcus's head by inches, sparked off the metal railing. Havoc's teeth found Williams's gun arm. The deputy screamed. The weapon dropped, clattered down the stairs. Marcus was on him in a heartbeat. Knee to the chest, elbow to the face. Williams went down hard. "Havoc! Release!" The dog let go, stood over Williams, teeth bared, ready to attack again. Marcus zip-tied the deputy's hands, checked Jasmine. "You hit?" No, I'm..." She was shaking violently. "He was going to kill us." But he didn't. Marcus hauled Williams up, slammed him against the wall. "Who else knows we're here?" "Just me and Jackson." "You're lying." "I'm not. Jackson said to keep it quiet." "Did he wanted to handle you personally?" Marcus pressed harder. "Where's Brandon?" 21st floor, his office, waiting for you with a gun and explicit permission from Daddy to blow your head off. Jasmine found Williams's dropped weapon, picked it up with trembling hands. "I should shoot you, for what you've done, for all the women you failed." "Go ahead," Williams laughed. It sounded broken. "Do us both a favor." "Don't." Marcus took the gun from her. "He's not worth it." They secured Williams to the stairwell railing, gagged him, left him there. "What if he gets free?" Jasmine asked. "He won't. Those ties are military grade. He's not going anywhere." They kept climbing. 20th floor. Almost there. Marcus's phone buzzed. Tyrone. "Police scanner just lit up. Multiple units heading to your location. Someone called it in." "Williams?" "Don't think so. Call came from inside the building, 22nd floor." Jackson Caldwell. He'd called the cops on his own son's operation. "How long do we have?" 5 minutes, maybe less. Marcus looked at Jasmine. "We need to move. Fast." 21st floor. The door opened onto executive offices, plush carpet, mahogany walls, the smell of money. Brandon's office was at the end, door closed, light visible underneath. "He knows we're coming," Jasmine whispered. "Good. Let him know." Marcus kicked the door open. Brandon sat behind his desk, gun in hand, pointed right at them. Finally. Brandon's smile was manic. "I've been waiting." Marcus raised his hands, slowly, non-threatening. "Easy. We're just here for the evidence." "Evidence? What evidence?" Brandon laughed. "You mean the phones? The jewelry? The little souvenirs I kept from my girlfriends?" "They weren't your girlfriends. They were your victims." "Victims? They loved the attention. Loved being noticed by someone like me." Brandon stood. The gun never wavered. "You just don't understand. When you're Caldwell, women throw themselves at you. They beg for it." Jasmine stepped forward. "I never begged you for anything except to leave me alone." "You?" Brandon's eyes found her. "You're here? Perfect. I can kill you both. 2 birds, 1 stone." "Your father called the police," Marcus said. "They're on their way. If you shoot us, you go to prison." "No, I don't. Self-defense. You broke into my office. I feared for my life." Brandon's finger moved to the trigger. "My father's lawyers will have me out by morning." Marcus calculated. 20 feet. Gun pointed at center mass. Brandon was scared, but steady. One wrong move, and someone died. "Where's the evidence, Brandon?" "The phones. The necklace you took from Jasmine." "You mean this?" Brandon pulled a gold chain from his desk drawer. Jasmine's grandmother's necklace. "Pretty thing. I was thinking about giving it to my next girl, after I'm done with her." Jasmine lunged. Marcus grabbed her. "Don't!" "That's mine. My grandmother's." "I know!" Marcus held her back. "But he wants you to rush him. He wants an excuse to shoot." Brandon dangled the necklace. "Come get it, Jasmine. Come on. Take it from me." "You're sick," she whispered. "I'm powerful. There's a difference." Brandon tossed the necklace on the desk. "But you're right about one thing. I do keep trophies. Every single woman who thought she could say no to me. Every bitch who thought she was too good for a Caldwell. He gestured at the wall safe behind his desk. 23 phones. 23 pieces of jewelry. 23 lives I ruined, just because I could. Marcus's eyes locked on the safe. Open it. Why would I do that? Because those phones have evidence, messages, photos, proof of what you've done. And if you're really as innocent as you claim, if they really all wanted it, then you've got nothing to hide. Brandon hesitated. Unless you know what's on those phones would destroy you. I'm not opening anything. Then I will. Marcus took a step forward. Brandon fired. The bullet missed Marcus by inches, punched through the drywall behind him. Next one goes in your skull, Brandon's voice cracked. I mean it! Marcus stopped, hands still raised. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. Hear that? Brandon smiled. Cops are coming. My cops. And when they get here, they'll find you two dead on my floor and me standing over you in justified self-defense. Or they find you with 23 phones full of evidence proving you're a serial predator. They'll never see those phones. I'll destroy them before. The office door burst open. Jackson Caldwell strode in, gun in hand. But he wasn't pointing it at Marcus. He was pointing it at his son. Father? Brandon's face went white. What are you? Shut up. Jackson's voice was ice. You've failed me for the last time. Marcus watched the dynamics shift. Father and son, both armed, both desperate. I didn't fail. I caught them. You let them get this far. You let them into my building. You exposed us. Jackson's gun hand was rock steady. I told you to handle this quietly. Instead, you're waving a gun around, firing shots, drawing attention. But they broke in. Because you're predictable. Because you're stupid. Because you kept trophies like some kind of amateur. Jackson shook his head. I raised you to be smart, to be careful, to never leave evidence. And what do? You keep a wall safe full of incriminating evidence in your own office. Brandon's gun dropped slightly. I can fix this. You can't fix anything. You never could. Jackson looked at Marcus. Mr. Reynolds, I'm going to make you an offer. One time only. I'm listening. Take the evidence. Take it all. Turn Brandon over to the authorities. Let him rot in prison for what he's done. Jackson's voice never changed. In exchange, you leave me alone. My company, my assets, my freedom. Brandon goes down. I stay free. Everyone wins. Jasmine gasped. You'd betray your own son? I'd sacrifice anyone to protect the empire. Jackson didn't even look at Brandon. He's a liability, a weakness. I should have cut him loose years ago. Father, please. Don't call me that. You stopped being my son the moment you became more trouble than you're worth. Jackson turned to Marcus. Do we have a deal? Marcus's mind raced. Take Brandon down. Get justice for Jasmine and the other victims. But let the man who killed Alicia walk free? No deal. Jackson's eyes narrowed. What? You killed my wife. Your company. Your predatory loans. Your harassment. You're as guilty as he is. I never touched your wife. You didn't have to. You built the system that killed her. You trained the collectors who terrorized her. You created the empire that destroys families. Marcus took a step forward. You're not walking away from this. Jackson raised his gun. Then you're all dying here. 3 guns, 3 people, 1 room. The sirens were close now, maybe 2 minutes away. Havoc growled, low, dangerous, ready to attack on command. "Father, what are you doing?" Brandon's voice climbed. "You can't shoot them!" "The police will find 3 bodies and a story about a break-in gone wrong." Jackson's voice was clinical. "Brandon confronted the intruders. They shot him. I arrived too late, shot them in self-defense. Tragic, but justified." "You're going to kill me?" "I'm going to kill everyone in this room and rebuild without the baggage." Jackson aimed at Brandon. "You first, then them." Brandon swung his gun toward his father. "You won't!" Marcus moved. 14 years of combat reflexes, faster than thought. He crossed the distance to Jackson in 2 steps. Hand on the gun, twist, disarm. Jackson's weapon clattered to the floor. Brandon fired at Marcus. Missed. The bullet hit his father instead. Jackson Caldwell stumbled backward, hand to his shoulder, blood spreading across his expensive shirt. "I shot him," Brandon whispered. "I shot my father." "Drop the gun," Marcus commanded. Brandon was frozen, staring at his father bleeding on the carpet. Jasmine ran to the safe. "What's the combination?" I don't." Brandon couldn't form words. Marcus grabbed him, slammed him against the wall. "The combination, now!" 7, 3, 9, 4. Jasmine spun the dial. The safe opened. Inside, 23 phones, jewelry, photos, documents, years of evidence. She started grabbing everything, stuffing it into her bag. Jackson groaned. "You're all dead. All of you. Even if you escape, I'll hunt you down. I'll destroy." The office door exploded inward. Sheriff Decker rushed in, gun drawn, 3 deputies behind him. "Nobody move!" Marcus raised his hands, still holding Jackson's gun. This was it. Caught. Evidence in hand but surrounded by corrupt cops. Decker's eyes swept the room. Marcus with a gun, Brandon with a gun, Jackson bleeding, Jasmine with a bag full of stolen property. "Mr. Caldwell?" Decker looked at Jackson. "Sir, are you—" "Arrest them!" Jackson gasped. "All of them! They broke in! They shot me!" Decker's gun moved to Marcus. "Drop it. Now." Marcus set the weapon down. Slowly. "Hands behind your head." He complied. Jasmine clutched the bag. "We have evidence. Proof of what Brandon's done." "You have stolen property obtained through illegal entry." Decker gestured at his deputies. "Cuff them both." The deputies moved forward. Marcus's mind raced. They were caught. Evidence would be confiscated, destroyed. The Caldwells would win. Unless... His phone rang, loud in the tense silence. "Don't answer that," Decker warned. It kept ringing. Finally, Decker nodded. "Speaker, let us all hear it." Marcus pulled out his phone, hit speaker. Agent Diana Cross's voice filled the room. "Mr. Reynolds, I'm standing in the lobby of Caldwell Industries with 23 federal agents. We have warrants for Jackson Caldwell, Brandon Caldwell, Sheriff Ray Decker, and Deputy Chief Williams. We have evidence of RICO violations, wire fraud, witness tampering, and conspiracy." Decker's face went white. "How?" Jackson tried to stand, failed. "How did you—" "Detective Lisa Monroe has been my informant for 18 months, Cross continued. "Every conversation, every bribe, every crime, all recorded, all documented, all admissible in federal court." Monroe had been a double agent, working for the FBI the whole time. "You're under arrest, Sheriff Decker." Cross's voice was steel. "Put down your weapon and step away from Mr. Reynolds." Decker's gun wavered. His deputies looked at each other. "Sir?" one of them asked. "What do we do?" "Put down your weapons," Cross commanded. "Federal agents are entering the building now. Resistance will be met with force." The elevator dinged. FBI agents poured out, 23 of them, body armor, assault rifles, moving with military precision. Cross led them, 50-something, gray hair, eyes like hammers. "Sheriff Decker, you're under arrest for corruption, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice." She nodded at her team. "Cuff him." Decker's gun fell. His deputies didn't resist. Jackson Caldwell tried to stand. "This is outrageous! I'm the victim here! They shot me!" "You're a suspect in multiple federal crimes, Mr. Caldwell. You'll receive medical attention after you're processed." Cross looked at Brandon. "Brandon Caldwell, you're under arrest for 23 counts of assault, battery, sexual assault, and kidnapping." "Kidnapping?" Brandon's voice cracked. "We found surveillance footage. 3 women you held against their will, fed them drugs, filmed them without consent." Cross gestured at the safe. "And, thanks to Mr. Reynolds and Mrs. Carter, we now have the phones to prove it." Jasmine handed the bag to Cross. "Everything's here. Every phone, every piece of jewelry he stole." Cross looked at her. "You risked your life for this evidence." "He took my grandmother's necklace, and he took 23 women's dignity." Jasmine's voice didn't shake. "I'm getting both back." Cross almost smiled. "That you are, Miss Carter. That you are." Federal agents swarmed the office, photographing, cataloging, securing evidence. Marcus stood there, watching the Caldwell empire crumble. Jackson was cuffed. Medics worked on his shoulder. Brandon was cuffed, silent, broken. Decker was cuffed, still sputtering about lawyers. It was done. After 8 months of planning, after 2 years of suffering, it was finally done. Cross approached Marcus. "You did good work here." "I broke about 15 laws getting it. Technically, you were operating under FBI authority. Detective Monroe deputized you 3 days ago. I have the paperwork." Marcus stared. "She what?" "She needed someone outside the system, someone the Caldwells wouldn't suspect, someone with the skills to get evidence we couldn't get legally." Cross pulled out a badge, handed it to Marcus. "Welcome to the FBI, temporary consultant, Marcus Reynolds." "I didn't agree to this." "Monroe did it anyway. Said you'd understand eventually." Cross looked at the carnage. "She was right to trust you." Jasmine was reunited with her necklace, tears streaming down her face as she held the gold chain. Havoc sat at Marcus's feet, tail wagging. Job done. Cross's phone rang. She answered, listened. Her face changed. "We have a problem." Marcus's stomach dropped. "What now?" "Deputy Chief Williams. He's gone. The team we sent to pick him up found empty zip ties in the stairwell. No sign of him." "He escaped." "And he knows everything. Where you live, who you've talked to, everyone who helped you." Cross's voice went hard. "He's desperate and armed, extremely dangerous." Marcus's phone buzzed. Text from Ruth. "Someone's at my house, banging on the door. Says he's police, but I don't recognize him. I'm scared." Then another text. A photo. Williams standing on Ruth's porch, gun visible in his waistband. Maya's bedroom window visible in the background. Marcus's blood turned to ice. "Havoc, come!" He ran for the stairs. Behind him, Cross shouted orders. "All units! Officer Williams is at 1247 Magnolia Street. Consider him armed and dangerous." But Marcus was already gone, racing down 21 flights of stairs, Havoc beside him. Jasmine right behind. Williams had 4-year-old Maya and her grandmother trapped in that house. And a man with nothing left to lose was capable of anything. The building's front doors exploded open. Marcus hit the street running. Tyrone's van screeched up. "Get in!" They dove inside, tires screaming as Tyrone floored it. "Ruth's house, now!" The van rocketed through Charleston's empty streets, running red lights, taking corners at speeds that made the vehicle tilt. Marcus's phone rang. "Williams. You destroyed my life." The deputy's voice was dead. "Everything I've worked for, everything I've built, gone because of you." "Let them go, Williams. Ruth and Maya have nothing to do with this." "They have everything to do with this. You care about them, which means they're leverage." A pause. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to call Agent Cross. Tell her to release Jackson Caldwell. Drop all charges. Make this all go away." "I can't do that. Then I start hurting people. The old woman first, then the little girl. And I'll make sure you hear every scream." The line went dead. Marcus looked at Jasmine. She'd heard everything. Her face was terror. "My baby? My mother? He's going to—" "No, he's not." Marcus chambered around in his borrowed weapon. "Because I'm going to end this." The van screeched to a stop 3 houses from Ruth's. Lights were on inside, shadows moving. Marcus loaded his tactical vest, checked his weapon, gave Havoc the signal for silent approach. Cross pulled up behind them, 20 agents spilling out of black SUVs. "We have negotiators en route," Cross said. "ETA 20 minutes. "We don't have 20 minutes. "Reynolds, you can't go in there. He's got hostages. This requires—" "I'm not asking permission." Marcus moved toward the house, Havoc beside him. Jasmine grabbed his arm. "Bring them back. Please. Bring my family back." "I will. Or I'll die trying." He meant it, because Williams had just made his final mistake. He'd threatened a Navy SEAL's family, and SEALs never left their family behind. Marcus circled the house, silent. Havoc moved like a ghost beside him. Every window was dark except the living room. Shadows moved behind drawn curtains. Cross's voice crackled in his earpiece. "Reynolds, wait for backup. We have snipers positioning." Marcus pulled the earpiece out, dropped it on the grass. He couldn't wait. Maya was 4 years old. Ruth was 73. Every second Williams had them increased the chance someone died. The front door was barricaded. Marcus could see furniture pushed against it through the window. He moved to the back. Kitchen door, locked but flimsy. His phone buzzed. Williams again. "I see you out there, Reynolds, circling like a dog. One step closer and I put a bullet in the old woman's head." Marcus froze. "That's right. Stay put. Or Ruth Carter's brains decorate her nice, clean walls." From inside, Maya screamed, high-pitched, terrified. "Grandma! Grandma, I'm scared!" Jasmine's voice came from behind him. "That's my baby. Oh, God, that's my baby." Cross grabbed her. "Miss Carter, you can't—" "Let me talk to him." Jasmine struggled. "Please, he'll listen to me." "He won't listen to anyone," Marcus said quietly. "He's past that point." Williams's voice came through the phone. "You want to talk, Jasmine? Come on in. Join the party. The more the merrier." "Don't," Marcus warned her. But Jasmine was already moving toward the front door. "Mommy!" Maya's scream intensified. "Mommy, help!" "I'm coming, baby. Mommy's coming." The front door opened. Just a crack. Williams's gun appeared through the gap. "Alone. No weapons. Or I start shooting." Jasmine raised her hands. Okay. I'm unarmed. Just let me see my daughter." She disappeared inside. The door slammed shut. Marcus's fists clenched. Now Williams had 3 hostages. Cross grabbed his arm. "We need to wait. Negotiators are 10 minutes out. In 10 minutes, they're all dead. Marcus pulled free. Williams isn't negotiating. He's stalling, buying time to figure out his endgame. Which is what? Murder-suicide. He kills them, kills himself, goes out on his terms. Cross knew he was right. She'd seen it before. Desperate men with nothing left to lose. What's your play? I go in, through the back, while he's focused on Jasmine. You'll get yourself killed. Maybe. But at least I'll die trying to save them instead of standing here doing nothing. Cross studied him, saw the determination, the training, the absolute conviction. You've got 5 minutes. After that, I'm sending in my team whether you're done or not. Marcus nodded, moved back toward the kitchen door. Havoc followed. The dog knew. Attack mode, protect mode, kill if necessary mode. Marcus tested the kitchen door handle. Still locked. He pulled out his lockpick set. 30 seconds. Click. The door swung open. Silent hinges. Someone had oiled them recently. Ruth, probably. She maintained her house like she maintained everything else in her life. With care. With attention. The kitchen smelled of coffee and fear. Chairs knocked over, cabinet doors open. Signs of struggle. Voices came from the living room. Williams, Jasmine, Maya crying. Please, Jasmine begged. Please just let them go. Keep me. I'm the one Marcus cares about. Use me as leverage. Nice try, but I need all 3 of you. Insurance policy. Williams's voice was manic. Besides, the little girl is making this fun. Ever seen a 4-year-old beg for her life? It's educational. You're sick. I'm practical. Your friend Marcus destroyed my career, my reputation, my future. Only fair I destroy something he values. Marcus moved through the kitchen, inch by inch, Havoc beside him. The dog's training kicked in. Silent approach. Wait for the signal. The living room doorway was 10 feet away. Marcus could see Williams's reflection in the TV screen, gun pointed at Ruth. The old woman sat on her couch, blood on her face, hands tied. Maya cowered behind Jasmine. 4 years old and learning what monsters looked like. You know what your problem is, Jasmine? Williams paced, gun waving. You picked the wrong side. You should have just let Brandon have his fun. Smiled, said thank you, moved on. But no, you had to fight back, had to keep records, had to team up with some washed-up seal with a vendetta. Brandon beat me in front of 23 people. And? You're alive, aren't you? Some women don't get that lucky. Ruth spoke for the first time. Her voice was weak but steady. You're going to burn in hell for this. Hell's got a long waiting list, old woman. I'll take my chances. Marcus signaled Havoc. The dog understood. Circle around. Opposite side. Attack on command. Havoc moved like smoke. Disappeared into the hallway. Marcus crept closer. 5 feet from the doorway. He could see Williams fully now. Gun in right hand. Phone in left. Checking it constantly. Watching for updates on the Caldwell arrests. This is all your fault, Williams muttered. All of it. If Marcus had just left Charleston like Jackson warned him, if he'd just taken the money and disappeared, none of this would have happened. People died because of you, Jasmine said. Women Brandon assaulted. Families Caldwell destroyed. You helped them do it. I made good money helping them do it. $250,000 over 10 years. You know what that bought me? A house, a car, my daughter's college fund. Williams laughed. It sounded broken. And now it's all gone. Ashley won't speak to me. My wife filed for divorce. The FBI seized my accounts. I've got nothing. You made your choices. And now I'm making one more. Williams raised the gun, aimed at Ruth's head. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Who dies first? The grandma, the mommy, or the little girl? Marcus burst through the doorway. Williams spun, fired. The bullet missed Marcus's head by inches, punched through the wall behind him. Havoc, engage! The Belgian Malinois launched from the hallway, teeth bared, 80 pounds of fury. Williams turned to shoot the dog. Marcus tackled him. Both men hit the floor. The gun skittered across hardwood. They fought like animals. Williams threw an elbow, caught Marcus in the jaw. Stars exploded across his vision. Marcus returned with a knee to the ribs. Heard something crack. Williams screamed, rolled away, scrambled for the gun. Havoc got there first, grabbed Williams's arm in his jaws, bit down, hard. Williams howled. "Get it off! Get it off me!" "Jasmine!" Marcus shouted. "Get them out, now!" Jasmine grabbed Maya, untied Ruth. The three of them stumbled toward the kitchen. Williams's free hand found a lamp, smashed it into Havoc's head. The dog yelped, released, stumbled backward. Williams grabbed the gun. Marcus dove. Too late. Williams fired. Once. Twice. 3 times. The bullets hit Ruth in the back as she tried to escape. She crumpled. Jasmine screamed. Marcus reached Williams, grabbed the gun, twisted. The weapon discharged into the ceiling. They wrestled, rolling, grappling. Williams was desperate. Marcus was trained. Training won. Marcus got Williams in a chokehold, applied pressure. The deputy's face went purple. "Kill him!" Jasmine sobbed. "Kill him for what he did!" Marcus squeezed harder. Williams's struggles weakened. He could do it. End this right now. One quick snap. Justice delivered. His phone fell out of Williams's pocket during the struggle. The screen was unlocked. Messages visible. Marcus saw the last text Williams had sent. Before he came to Ruth's house. Before he took hostages. Sent to his daughter Ashley. "I'm sorry for everything. I was wrong. I was weak. I became what I hated. Tell your mother I love her. Tell her I'm sorry. Tell her." The message ended there, unfinished, because Williams had given up on redemption and chosen revenge instead. Marcus looked at Williams's face. Purple. Eyes bulging. Seconds from death. He thought of Alicia. How she'd always said violence only created more violence. How she'd believed in second chances, even when people didn't deserve them. He released the chokehold. Williams gasped, sucked in air. Alive but beaten. Marcus zip-tied his hands, hauled him up, shoved him against the wall. FBI agents poured through the doors. Cross led them. Took one look at the scene. Ruth bleeding on the floor, Jasmine holding her, Maya screaming, Williams restrained, Havoc limping but alive. "Medic!" Cross shouted. "Now!" Paramedics rushed in, started working on Ruth. The old woman was unconscious, blood spreading across her back. "Is she going to make it?" Jasmine begged. "Please tell me she's going to make it." The lead paramedic worked fast. IV, pressure, tourniquets. "She's lost a lot of blood. We need to move, now." They loaded Ruth onto a stretcher, raced her to the ambulance. Jasmine started to follow. "Miss Carter?" A female FBI agent stopped her. "We need to check you and your daughter for injuries." "I'm fine. My mother needs me." "Your daughter needs you." The agent knelt beside Maya. "Hey, sweetie. You're safe now. Nobody's going to hurt you." Maya clung to Jasmine, silent, in shock. Marcus watched Williams get hauled away. The deputy didn't resist, didn't speak, just stared at nothing with dead eyes. Cross approached Marcus. "You could have killed him." "Yeah. Why didn't you?" Marcus looked at his hands, hands that had killed before, hands that could have killed again. Because my wife wouldn't have wanted me to. She believed in justice, not revenge. Sometimes they're the same thing. Sometimes. Not today. Cross's phone rang. She answered. Her face changed. "What?" Marcus asked. "Jackson Caldwell. He died 20 minutes ago. Blood loss from the gunshot wound. Went into shock at the hospital. Didn't make it." Marcus felt nothing. No satisfaction, no relief. Just emptiness. "There's more," Cross continued. "Before he died, he gave a deathbed confession. Named names. Exposed corruption going back 30 years. Judges, prosecutors, politicians. He burned every bridge he had." Why? He knew he was dying. Knew Brandon would go to prison. Knew the empire was finished. Cross paused. According to the doctor, his last words were, "I built everything on sand." Then he died. A confession. Evidence. Names. The Caldwell Empire wasn't just falling, it was being destroyed from the inside. "What about Brandon?" Marcus asked. Arraigned in the morning, bail denied. 23 counts of assault, 3 counts of sexual assault, evidence tampering, witness intimidation. Cross almost smiled. He's looking at 40 years minimum. 40 years. Brandon would be 64 when he got out, if he survived prison that long. Rich boys didn't do well in federal prison. Jasmine emerged from the ambulance. Her face was streaked with tears. "They're taking Mom to Charleston Medical. Surgery, they said." Her voice broke. "They said it's bad. Really bad. The bullets hit her spine." Marcus put a hand on her shoulder. "She's strong. She'll make it." "You don't know that. I know she survived 73 years in Charleston under the Caldwell regime. I know she raised a daughter who stood up to a predator. I know she collected evidence for 2 years when everyone told her to stop." Marcus met her eyes. "That kind of strength doesn't quit." Jasmine nodded, tried to believe him. Maya tugged her mother's hand. "Mommy, is Grandma going to die?" "No, baby. Grandma's tough. She's going to be fine." "Promise?" Jasmine hesitated, then lied for her daughter's sake. "I promise." Cross gestured toward a waiting SUV. "We need to get statements from both of you. And, Mr. Reynolds, you're due at the Federal Building in an hour for debriefing." "Can it wait?" "Not really. We've got 23 victims coming in to testify. News media is already outside the courthouse. This is the biggest corruption case Charleston's seen in 50 years. Cross softened slightly. "But I can give you 30 minutes to check on Ruth first. Thank you." They drove to Charleston Medical in silence, the same hospital where Alicia had died 8 months ago. Marcus hadn't been back since her funeral. The building looked the same, smelled the same, sterile and sad. They found the surgical waiting room. Jasmine paced. Marcus sat. Maya colored in an activity book a nurse had given her. An hour passed. 2 hours. At 3 a.m., a surgeon emerged, still in scrubs, blood on her gloves. Jasmine jumped up. "How is she?" "She's alive. We removed 2 bullets. The third one we couldn't get without risking paralysis. It's lodged near her spine." "Will she walk again?" The surgeon hesitated. "Too early to tell. The next 24 hours are critical. If she makes it through that, we'll assess long-term damage." "Can I see her?" "ICU, room 7. But she's unconscious. Won't wake up for hours." Jasmine didn't care. She grabbed Maya and rushed toward the ICU. Marcus stayed in the waiting room, alone with his thoughts. His phone buzzed. Tyrone. "Just saw the news. Federal raid. Caldwell arrests. Are you okay?" "Alive." "Ruth?" "Surgery. Critical." Tyrone was silent for a moment. Jackson's dead. Saw that too. Gave a confession before he died. Named my nephew's case specifically. Said Caldwell Financial deliberately targeted black families with subprime loans. It's over, Tyrone. The whole empire. It's done. Because of you. You and that dog and those women. Tyrone's voice cracked. My nephew called me an hour ago. First time in 3 years. Said he saw the news. Said maybe he could come home now. Start over. Marcus closed his eyes. I'm glad. Me too. Thank you, Marcus, for all of it. They hung up. Another call came in immediately. Detective Monroe. Reynolds, I'm at the station. Williams is singing like a bird, giving up everyone, every dirty cop, every paid-off judge, every politician on the Caldwell payroll. Why? Because the DA offered him a deal, 20 years instead of life. He took it. Monroe paused. He also confessed to something else. Something about your wife. Marcus's blood went cold. What about her? Williams was the one who made the final call, the day she died. Jackson Caldwell ordered him to go to the hospital, threaten her one last time, tell her they'd take everything, her house, her husband's benefits, everything. Marcus couldn't breathe. Williams said your wife was already weak, heart condition. Stress had made it worse. He went anyway, delivered the threat, watched her heart monitor start racing, watched her code. Monroe's voice was barely a whisper. He walked out while nurses tried to revive her. Didn't report what he'd done until now. Williams hadn't just been complicit in Alicia's death. He'd triggered it, deliberately. Marcus stood, started walking, didn't know where, just needed to move. Reynolds, you there? Where is he now? County jail, protective custody. Why? Marcus hung up, kept walking. He found himself in the hospital chapel. Empty, dark, quiet. He sat in the front pew, stared at the cross on the wall. I wanted to kill him, he said to no one. To God, maybe. To Alicia's ghost. I had him. I could have snapped his neck, could have made it look like self-defense. No one would have questioned it. Silence answered him. But I didn't. Because of you. Because you always said violence was the easy answer. That real strength was choosing something harder. Something better. His voice broke. I don't know if you were right. I don't know if letting him live means anything. He'll go to prison. He'll suffer. But he's still breathing. And you're not. And I don't know if that's justice or just weakness on my part. The chapel door opened. Jasmine entered, sat beside him. Maya's asleep in Ruth's room. Nurses said it's okay if she stays. How's Ruth? Stable, still unconscious, but stable. Jasmine wiped her eyes. Doctor said you saved her life. If you'd waited for negotiators, she would have bled out. I should have moved faster, before Williams shot her. You did what you could. You saved us. Jasmine took his hand. My mother, my daughter, me, we're alive because of you. Marcus didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a man who'd lost everything and was stumbling through the aftermath. Cross told me about Williams's confession, Jasmine continued. About your wife. About what he did. Marcus nodded. Couldn't speak. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that happened to her. To you. He killed her. Not directly, but he killed her. I know. They sat in silence, two broken people in a hospital chapel at 3 a.m. What happens now? Jasmine finally asked. The FBI builds their case. The Caldwells go to trial. Evidence gets presented. Justice happens. Or tries to. And us? Marcus looked at her. What do you mean? You came here for revenge. You got it. Jackson's dead. Brandon's arrested. Williams is confessing. The Empire's destroyed. Jasmine met his eyes. Do you leave now? Go back to whatever life you had before Charleston? I don't have a life to go back to. This was it. This was all I had left. So what? You just disappear? Fade away? Marcus hadn't thought that far ahead. His entire focus had been on destroying the Caldwells. He'd never considered what came after. I don't know. Jasmine's hand tightened on his. Stay. What? Stay in Charleston. Help rebuild. Agent Cross said they need people to work with victims. People who understand what it's like to be destroyed by systems that don't care. I'm not a social worker. No, you're a fighter, and this city needs fighters. Good ones. Ones who stand up instead of looking away. Marcus thought about it. Staying here, in the city that killed his wife, in the place that held so much pain. But also in the place where he'd found purpose again, where he'd helped people, where he'd made a difference. I'll think about it. Jasmine smiled, small but genuine. That's all I'm asking. Cross appeared in the chapel doorway. Sorry to interrupt. Marcus, we need you now. Press conference in an hour. The world wants to know who took down the Caldwell Empire. Marcus stood. I don't want credit. Too late. You're a hero. Local news, national news. They're calling you the SEAL who saved Charleston. I didn't save anything. I just did what needed doing. That's what heroes always say. Cross gestured toward the exit. Come on. We've got work to do. The press conference was chaos. Cameras, reporters, questions shouted from every direction. Cross handled most of it, explained the investigation, the evidence, the arrests. Then she introduced Marcus. This is Marcus Reynolds, former Navy SEAL. He came to Charleston 8 months ago investigating his wife's death. What he found was a criminal empire that had terrorized this city for 3 decades. With the help of brave victims and dedicated law enforcement, he brought that empire down. Reporters erupted. Mr. Reynolds, how does it feel to get justice for your wife? Mr. Reynolds, are you satisfied with the arrests? Mr. Reynolds, what message do you have for other victims? Marcus stepped to the microphone, looked at the cameras, at the faces behind them. I didn't do this alone. This wasn't one man's mission. This was a community standing up. Victims finding their voices. Good cops fighting bad systems. He paused. If you're watching this and you're suffering under corruption, under abuse, under systems that protect predators, know that you're not powerless. You're not alone. And change is possible. More questions, more cameras. But Marcus was done. He stepped away from the microphone, left the podium. Outside, the sun was rising over Charleston, pink and gold light painting the historic city. Havoc sat on the courthouse steps, waiting, loyal. Marcus scratched behind the dog's ears. We did it, boy. It's over. Havoc's tail wagged. Jasmine emerged from the courthouse, Maya holding her hand. Mom woke up. For just a minute. But she woke up. Jasmine was crying, happy tears this time. She asked about you, said to tell you thank you. Tell her she's welcome. Maya tugged Marcus's hand. Are you my mommy's friend? I guess I am. Good. Mommy needs friends. Maya smiled, 4 years old and already wise. And I like your dog. Havoc's tail wagged harder. They stood there, on the courthouse steps, watching Charleston wake up to news that everything had changed. The Caldwell Empire was finished. The corrupt system was exposed. and for the first time in 30 years, people could hope again. Marcus's phone buzzed one last time, a number he didn't recognize. He almost didn't answer, but something made him. "Mr. Reynolds?" The voice was young, female, scared. "My name is Ashley Williams. I'm Deputy Chief Williams's daughter." Marcus's jaw tightened. "I'm listening." "I just wanted to say, I'm sorry for what my father did. To your wife, to those women, to everyone." She was crying. "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know what he was doing." "It's not your fault." "But I should have seen it. Should have asked questions. Should have—" "You're 16. You trusted your father. That's what kids do." Marcus's voice softened. "What he did isn't on you. Remember that." Ashley sobbed. "Thank you. And Mr. Reynolds, what you said at the press conference about change being possible, I needed to hear that. Because I'm going to study law, like my grandfather, but I'm going to do it right. I'm going to help people, make up for what my father did." Marcus smiled. "Your grandfather would be proud." "I hope so." They hung up. One daughter destroyed by her father's corruption, but choosing to build something better. That was hope. Real hope. Jasmine touched his arm. "Ready to go?" "Where?" "Hospital. To see my mom, to tell her it's really over." Jasmine paused. "And maybe after, breakfast? All of us? You, me, Maya, Havoc?" Marcus looked at this woman who'd survived hell, at her daughter who'd been terrorized, at the city waking up to freedom. And he realized something. His mission hadn't been revenge. It had been finding family again. Finding purpose again. Finding reasons to keep breathing when everything said to stop. "Yeah," he said. "Breakfast sounds good." They walked toward Jasmine's car, Maya skipping ahead, Havoc trotting beside her. The sun climbed higher. Charleston was awake. And for the first time in 8 months, Marcus Reynolds felt something he thought he'd lost forever. He felt alive. The diner was the same one where everything started. Riverside Diner. Rita still owned it, still served the best coffee in Charleston, but everything else had changed. Marcus slid into the corner booth, his booth now. Jasmine sat across from him. Maya colored on the paper placemat between them. Rita brought coffee without being asked. "Heard about Ruth. How's she doing?" "Awake, talking. Doctors say she'll walk again with physical therapy." Jasmine's voice was lighter than Marcus had heard in months. "She's asking when she can leave the hospital." "That woman's made of steel." Rita poured Marcus's coffee. "And you, the news is calling you a hero." "I'm not a hero." "You took down the family that terrorized this city for 30 years. What else would you call it?" Rita squeezed his shoulder. "Breakfast is on the house. For life. That's the least I can do." She walked away before Marcus could argue. Maya looked up from her coloring. "Mr. Marcus, is it true you have a dog that fights bad guys?" "Havoc doesn't fight. He protects." "Can I meet him?" "He's at the vet, getting checked after everything that happened. But soon, okay?" "Okay." Maya went back to coloring, drawing a stick figure with the dog. Happy. Safe. Jasmine watched her daughter. "She's smiling again. First time in 6 months I've seen her actually smile." "Kids are resilient." "So are their mothers." Jasmine met his eyes. "Thank you. For everything. For standing up when no one else would. For risking your life. For—" Marcus's phone rang. Agent Cross. He answered. "Reynolds, we have a problem." Cross's voice was tight. Brandon Caldwell sent letters from jail, 23 of them, one to each victim. Marcus's stomach dropped. What kind of letters? Threats. Promises to finish what his father started once he gets out. Detailed descriptions of what he'll do to them and their families. Cross paused. 3 victims have already withdrawn their statements. They're terrified. He's in jail. He can't hurt them. He has money, lawyers, family connections, people on the outside who can do his dirty work. Cross took a breath. One victim, Angela Martinez, the bartender from 2022, she tried to kill herself last night. Pills. Her roommate found her in time, but... Is she alive? ICU. Critical condition. She left a note. Said she couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't testify. Couldn't face Brandon in court. Couldn't keep living in fear. Marcus closed his eyes, felt the weight of it. They'd won the battle, but the war was still destroying people. What do you need from me? Talk to the victims. Convince them to stay strong. You're the one they trust. You're the one who actually fought back. Cross's voice cracked slightly. Please, Marcus, if we lose these testimonies, Brandon walks. All of this was for nothing. I'll do it. He hung up, looked at Jasmine. What happened? Brandon's threatening people from jail. Victims are scared. Of course they are. He's a Caldwell. Even in prison, he has power. Jasmine's hands shook. I got a letter too, this morning. Slipped under my door. Marcus went still. What did it say? She pulled an envelope from her purse, handed it to him. Inside, 3 sentences in Brandon's handwriting. I know where Maya goes to school. I know where your mother sleeps. See you soon. Marcus crumpled the letter. I'm going to kill him. You can't. He's in protective custody. Maximum security. Jasmine took the letter back. But he's right. He knows everything about us. And eventually, someone will help him. Someone he's paying. Someone who doesn't care about justice. Maya looked up. Mommy, why are you sad? I'm not sad, baby. Just tired. Are the bad men coming back? No, never. Uncle Marcus won't let them. Uncle Marcus. The title hit him unexpectedly. He wasn't Maya's uncle, wasn't even family. But maybe he could be. His phone rang again. The hospital. Mr. Reynolds, this is Dr. Chen. Ruth Carter is asking for you. Says it's urgent. Marcus stood. I'm on my way. Ruth looked small in the hospital bed, tubes and monitors everywhere. But her eyes were sharp, alert. You came. Marcus pulled up a chair. You said urgent. Brandon's letters. I heard about them from my nurse. Her cousin is one of the victims. Ruth's hand found Marcus's. They're scared, and they should be. The Caldwells don't give up. Brandon's in jail. Jackson's dead. The Empire's finished. No, it's not. Ruth's grip tightened. There's one more, Caldwell. The worst one. Marcus leaned forward. Who? Richard Caldwell, Jackson's older brother, United States Senator, lives in Washington, but his money comes from here, from the same corrupt system. Ruth's eyes burned. Jackson ran Charleston. Richard runs the entire state. Ruth pulled Marcus closer. But now Jackson's dead and Brandon's arrested. Richard's going to protect the family interests, which means destroying everyone who testified against them. He can't. Federal charges, FBI investigation. He doesn't have that kind of power. He's on the Senate Judiciary Committee. He confirms federal judges. He controls FBI budgets. He has exactly that kind of power. Ruth coughed, winced in pain. And I've seen what he does to people who cross him. When? 20 years ago, my husband worked for Caldwell Industries, accounting. He found evidence of money laundering, went to Richard, thought a senator would help. Ruth's voice went hollow. My husband died 3 weeks later. Car accident. Police said brake failure. But I know better. Marcus processed this. Richard had him killed. Can't prove it. Never could. But I know. Ruth released his hand. And now Richard knows you're the one who destroyed his family's empire. He's coming for you, Marcus. For Jasmine. For Maya. For everyone. Let him come. You don't understand. Jackson was a local bully. Richard is a national monster. He has Secret Service protection, political immunity, connections you can't imagine. Ruth's eyes filled. You beat the brother, but you can't beat the senator. Nobody can. Marcus stood. I've fought bigger monsters. Not like this. Not someone who operates in shadows, who kills with legislation and court orders and political pressure. Ruth grabbed his hand again. Promise me you'll be careful. Promise me you won't underestimate him. I promise. He left the hospital, called Cross. Tell me about Richard Caldwell. Cross was silent for a long moment. How do you know about Richard? Ruth Carter. She says he's coming after us. She's right. I got a call an hour ago, my supervisor, telling me to back off the Caldwell case. Said we're creating political problems, upsetting important people. Cross's voice hardened. Richard made a phone call. Just one, and suddenly my entire investigation is under review. Can he shut you down? He's trying. Senate hearing next week about FBI overreach. Richard's leading it, using our case as the example. Cross laughed bitterly. We take down his family, and he turns it into political theater about federal agencies targeting successful businessmen. What happens to the victims? If the case gets shut down, Brandon walks. Williams's deal gets revoked. Everyone goes free except the people they hurt. A pause. I've been fighting corruption for 20 years, Marcus. This is the first time I think I might lose. Marcus hung up, stood on the hospital steps, thinking. Jackson had been vulnerable because he lived in Charleston, operated locally, could be reached. Richard lived in Washington, surrounded by security, protected by power. You couldn't fight him the same way. You had to be smarter. Marcus called Tyrone. The financial records you gave us, the shell companies, who set them up? Jackson. But Richard provided the initial funding, 30 years ago, before Jackson even started Caldwell Industries. Tyrone paused. Why? Because if Richard funded the operation, he's criminally liable. RICO statutes, conspiracy, all of it applies to him too. You'd have to prove he knew what the money was being used for. Can you prove it? Maybe. I kept everything. Every transfer, every memo, every... Tyrone stopped. Wait. There's something else. Something I never showed anyone. What? A recording. From 32 years ago. Jackson and Richard talking about the business plan, how to structure it, how to hide the money, how to make sure nothing traced back to Richard. Tyrone's voice dropped. I was in the room. I was young, just started. They didn't think I mattered. I recorded it on cassette tape. You still have it? In my safe deposit box. Insurance, in case they ever came after me. I need it. Now. They met at the bank. Tyrone retrieved a cassette tape. Ancient. Probably wouldn't even play on modern equipment. How do we listen to this? I have a tape player at home, from the 80s. Still works. They drove to Tyrone's house, a small bungalow in a black neighborhood the Caldwells had tried to buy out for decades. Tyrone loaded the tape, hit play. Static. Then voices. Jackson. So the shell companies route everything through the Caymans? Richard. Correct. Nothing traces back to us. And the predatory loans, make sure they target the right demographics. Jackson. Which demographics? Richard. Poor, black, desperate, people who can't fight back, people the system doesn't protect. A laugh. We're not just making money, little brother. We're cleaning up the neighborhood. The recording continued. 10 minutes of conspiracy, tax fraud, money laundering, deliberate targeting of vulnerable communities. Richard Caldwell's voice, clear, unmistakable, admitting to everything. Marcus looked at Tyrone. This is it. This destroys him. If anyone believes it, if it's even admissible. Tyrone stopped the tape. He'll claim it's fake, edited, taken out of context. He's got lawyers who can argue anything. Then we need more than just the tape. Marcus called Monroe. I need everything you have on Richard Caldwell. Every case he's blocked. Every investigation he's killed. Everything. That's a senator. I can't just... Yes, you can. He's a criminal who happens to be a senator. There's a difference. Monroe was quiet. Then, give me 2 hours. 2 hours later, Marcus had a folder 6 inches thick. Cases, investigations, witnesses who disappeared, prosecutors who suddenly resigned. Richard Caldwell's entire corrupt history laid bare. Cross arrived at Tyrone's house, listened to the tape, read the files. This is enough. More than enough. She looked at Marcus. But getting it to stick is another problem. Richard has friends everywhere. FBI, DOJ, federal judges he personally confirmed. What about judges he didn't confirm? What do you mean? State courts, judges elected locally, people who don't owe Richard anything. Marcus pulled up a list. Charleston has 3 judges who weren't appointed through federal channels. 3 judges who've been fighting corruption for decades. Cross smiled. You want to try Richard in state court? Can we? Money laundering, tax fraud, conspiracy? Yeah, we can charge him at the state level. Cross started making notes. It's risky. He'll fight it, claim jurisdiction issues, federal immunity, but it keeps the case alive while he's trying to kill the federal one. Exactly. They filed charges that afternoon. State of South Carolina versus Richard Caldwell. 32 counts. The cassette tape as primary evidence. The news exploded. Senator charged in family corruption scheme. Caldwell empire reaches Washington. FBI investigation expands to Senate. Richard's office issued a statement within the hour. These charges are politically motivated. A witch hunt designed to embarrass a sitting senator. I will fight them vigorously, and I will be exonerated. But 2 things happened that Richard didn't expect. First, 3 more victims came forward. Not from Brandon's assaults, from Richard's past. Women he'd harmed decades ago. Women who'd stayed silent out of fear. Second, Ashley Williams, Deputy Chief Williams's daughter, gave an interview on national television, talking about her father's corruption, about the Caldwell family, about how systems protect powerful men at the expense of everyone else. She was 16, brave, articulate, and she destroyed Richard's narrative. This isn't political, Ashley said to the cameras. This is about justice. About holding powerful people accountable. My father was wrong. The Caldwells are wrong, and Senator Richard Caldwell is wrong. We deserve better. The interview went viral, millions of views. Ashley Williams became the face of anti-corruption. Richard tried to fight back. Press conferences, friendly media appearances, political allies defending him. But the evidence kept mounting. The cassette tape was authenticated. Voice analysis confirmed it was Richard. The financial records were verified. Shell companies traced directly to his accounts. Witnesses testified. Victims spoke. The case built into something unstoppable. Trial was set for 6 weeks out. During those 6 weeks, Marcus did something unexpected. He started a nonprofit. Second Chances, helping victims of predatory lending and assault rebuild their lives. Jasmine worked with him. So did Ruth once she got out of the hospital in a wheelchair. So did Tyrone. They helped 23 families in the first month, hundreds more in the second. The Caldwell properties, seized by the state, were converted to community centers, low-income housing, resources for people who'd been destroyed by the empire. Elise's property, the 5 acres Richard had wanted, became a veterans center. Marcus ran it himself, training dogs, helping vets with PTSD, giving them purpose. Havoc was the lead trainer, teaching other dogs, healing while helping others heal. Maya visited every weekend, loved the dogs, loved watching her Uncle Marcus work. Jasmine and Marcus grew closer, slow, careful, both of them healing from trauma. No romance, not yet. Maybe never, but family. Definitely family. The trial began on a Tuesday. Richard Caldwell walked into Charleston Courthouse like he owned it. Expensive suit, confident smile, surrounded by lawyers. He didn't look worried. That changed when the prosecution presented its case. The cassette tape played in open court. Richard's voice admitting to conspiracy, to targeting black families, to building an empire on suffering. Financial experts testified, traced every dollar, showed the shell companies, the laundered money, the deliberate fraud. Victims testified, women Richard had hurt, families he'd destroyed, lives ruined by his greed. And then Ruth Carter took the stand. She rolled up in her wheelchair, 73 years old, paralyzed from the waist down because of bullets meant for her daughter. The prosecutor asked her one question. "Why are you here?" Ruth looked directly at Richard. "Because 32 years ago, this man killed my husband, and I'm going to make sure he pays for it." She pulled out a lockbox. Inside, her husband's original evidence. The money laundering proof he'd found, the notes he'd taken before he died. And a letter, written by her husband the day before he died, detailing threats Richard had made, describing the brake line on his car looking tampered with, expressing fear for his life. "My husband mailed this to me the day he died," Ruth said. "I've kept it for 32 years, waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone brave enough to stand up to the Caldwells." She looked at Marcus in the gallery. "I finally found him." The courtroom erupted. Richard's lawyers objected, called it hearsay, demanded it be excluded. The judge, a black woman who'd grown up in the neighborhoods the Caldwells destroyed, overruled them. "The letter is admissible. The evidence is admissible. This trial will continue." 3 weeks later, the jury deliberated for 4 hours. Marcus sat in the hallway, Jasmine beside him, Maya playing with a puzzle. Ruth in her wheelchair, hands folded in prayer. Cross paced. Monroe stood guard. Tyrone sat quietly, remembering his nephew. The jury returned. "On all counts, we find the defendant, Richard Caldwell, guilty." The courtroom exploded with cheers, tears, relief. Richard's face went white. His lawyers immediately filed appeals, but it didn't matter. The guilty verdict triggered federal action, Senate ethics investigation, criminal referrals. Richard's political career died that day. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. Richard Caldwell, 25 years federal prison, no parole. Brandon Caldwell, 40 years, no parole. Deputy Chief Williams, 20 years with possibility of parole after 12. Sheriff Decker, 15 years. Every corrupt official connected to the empire, prison time, fines, permanent disbarment. The Caldwell Empire didn't just fall, it was erased. 6 months later, Marcus stood on the porch of the Veterans Center, watching Havoc train a young German shepherd to work with a Marine who'd lost both legs in Afghanistan. The Marine's name was Jackson, 24 years old, hadn't smiled in 3 years. Today he smiled, because the dog, a rescue named Hope, had just learned to fetch his prosthetics. "She's got it," Marcus told him. "Another week and she'll be ready to go home with you." "Thank you, man. Seriously, this..." Jackson gestured at the center, at the dogs, at the Hope. "This saved my life." Marcus understood. It had saved his, too. Jasmine pulled up in her car. Maya burst out, ran to Havoc. The old dog tolerated her hugs with patient dignity. "Mom's asking for you," Jasmine told Marcus. "Says she needs help with the new victim intake forms." Ruth had made a full recovery, walked with a cane now instead of a wheelchair, ran the nonprofit with iron efficiency. She'd found purpose in helping others, found healing in fighting back. They all had. "How was court?" Marcus asked. "Last Caldwell property was seized, auctioned. Proceeds going to Victim Compensation Fund." Jasmine smiled. "It's really over. All of it." "Yeah, it is." They walked toward the main building. Maya ran ahead. Havoc followed her like a shadow. Inside, 23 victims were gathered. Support group meeting. Sharing stories. Healing together. Angela Martinez was there. The bartender who'd tried to kill herself. She'd survived. Got help. Now she helped others. "Mr. Reynolds?" She approached him. "I wanted to thank you. If you hadn't fought back, if you hadn't shown us it was possible." "You did the fighting. All of you. I just showed up." "You did more than that. You gave us hope. You gave us justice." Angela's eyes filled. "You gave us our lives back." Marcus didn't know what to say to that. Jasmine saved him. "Come on, Mom's waiting." They found Ruth in her office, surrounded by files, building cases against other predators, other corrupt systems. "Charleston's clean," she said, "but there are 100 other cities just like it, 1,000 families being destroyed right now. We can't stop with just the Caldwells." "We won't," Marcus promised. That night, Marcus visited Alicia's grave. First time since the trial ended. He brought flowers, her favorites, yellow roses. "We did it," he told her headstone. "The Caldwells are in prison. Every single one of them. The victims got justice. The system got exposed. Change is happening." The cemetery was quiet, peaceful. "I'm staying in Charleston, starting this center, helping vets, helping victims, building something good from all the pain." Marcus touched her name carved in granite. "I know you would have wanted that. You always said darkness can't drive out darkness. Only light can do that." He paused. "I met someone. Her name is Jasmine. She's got a daughter, Maya. They've been through hell. But they're strong. Like you were strong." Marcus's voice cracked. "I'm not replacing you. Nobody could. But I'm trying to live again. Trying to be the man you always believed I could be." The wind rustled through the trees. Marcus liked to think it was her. Approving, encouraging, letting him know it was okay to move forward. "I love you. Always will. Thank you for teaching me that justice matters. That standing up matters. That one person really can make a difference." He left the cemetery, drove back to the center. Jasmine was waiting on the porch, 2 cups of coffee in hand. "Thought you might need this." Marcus took the cup, sat beside her. They watched the sunset over Charleston, over the city they'd saved together. "What happens now?" Jasmine asked. "Now? We keep building, keep fighting, keep helping people who can't help themselves." "Sounds exhausting." "Probably," Marcus smiled. "But it's what we do." Maya came outside, climbed into Marcus's lap without asking. He'd become her safe person, her protector, her uncle. "Tell me a story," she demanded. "What kind of story?" "A story about brave people who fight monsters." Marcus looked at Jasmine, at Ruth inside coordinating victim services, at Havoc training dogs, at the veterans finding purpose. "Okay, once upon a time there was a city ruled by monsters, rich monsters who hurt people and nobody stopped them. Until one day, a group of brave people decided enough was enough. A mother, a grandmother, a soldier, and a very good dog." Maya giggled. "Dogs can't fight monsters." "This one could. And together, they didn't just fight the monsters, they destroyed them. They tore down the whole empire and built something better in its place." "What did they build?" "Hope. Second chances. A place where people could heal." Marcus held her closer. "And they all lived. Not happily ever after, because life's not that simple. But they lived. They fought. They mattered. And that was enough." Maya thought about this. "I like that story." "Me too, kiddo. Me too." Jasmine's hand found Marcus's. They sat there. 3 people who'd survived hell, building family from ashes. Havoc emerged from the training center, limped over, rested his head on Marcus's knee. The dog was getting old, slower, gray around the muzzle. But his eyes were still sharp, still loyal, still ready to protect his family. "Good boy," Marcus whispered. "We did good, boy." Havoc's tail wagged. Inside the center, veterans laughed, dogs barked, hope echoed. Charleston's church bells rang out across the city. 7 p.m., Tuesday. Another day survived. Another day won. Marcus Reynolds had come to Charleston 8 months ago with nothing but grief and a death wish. He'd found something better than revenge. He'd found purpose, family, home. The Caldwell Empire was destroyed, the corrupt system exposed, justice served. But more than that, lives were rebuilt. Victims found voices, communities found strength. One man, one dog, one decision to stand up instead of looking away. That's all it took to change everything. And as the sun set on Charleston, as the city that had suffered for 3 decades finally breathed free, Marcus Reynolds understood something profound. Evil thrives when good people do nothing. But when good people fight back, when they stand together, refuse to surrender, choose courage over comfort, evil doesn't just lose. It's destroyed completely, replaced by something infinitely stronger. Hope, justice, love. Marcus had learned this from Alicia, proven it with Jasmine and Ruth and every victim who found the strength to testify. And now, he would spend the rest of his life teaching it to others. Because that was the real victory. Not the trials or the prison sentences or the empire's fall, but the people who survived, the families who healed, the community that refused to stay broken. That was justice. That was what Alicia had always believed in. And Marcus Reynolds, former Navy SEAL, widower, accidental hero, had finally learned she was right. The fight wasn't over. It never would be. There would always be more Caldwells, more corrupt systems, more victims who needed help. But there would also always be people willing to fight back. People like Jasmine, who stood up even when terrified. People like Ruth, who collected evidence for decades, waiting for justice. People like Marcus, who refused to let grief destroy him and instead transformed it into purpose. And in the end, those people, ordinary people who made extraordinary choices, they were the ones who changed the world. One stand at a time, one voice at a time, one act of courage at a time. That was the lesson. That was the truth. That was the answer to every question Marcus had asked since Alicia died. How do you defeat evil? You stand up. You fight back. You never surrender. And you build something better from the ashes.